Howdy folks, Tetsu here, down in the lower tiers, where the power is low, but the battles are fierce. And today we're moving on to match 10 in round 1 between Gangsta Spongebob and Faultson, stylized P, which seems to be an exclamation point and a question mark in one. And I suppose that might seem pretty obvious on the screen. Okay, alright. So, I actually have talked to Gangsta Spongebob, and very nice fellow, by the way. Very encouraging of the project so far, which is awesome. I don't know anything about Faultson, so besides that, I actually don't really know much about the battle styles, what they're going to do, and obviously, again, this is round 1, and we've seen a lot of peculiar and interesting plays. What else? Not really anything that I can think of to add on. No, not really. So, with that out of the way, let's... with that out of the way, like I said anything really worth it. Anyway. Without further ado, let's actually start this off and get to the actual one of my favorite parts of these replays, and that is the beginning metagame. Well, lead metagame. You get what I mean. Anyway, let's begin. Play. Alright, starting off, we have Tentacle from Gangsta Spongebob and Charmeleon. I'm not going to go over the technical bits right here. We know this matchup, and we, at this point, know more or less what people are probably going to do, but hey, maybe we'll get surprised by this. A quick switch to Voltorb, and a Hydro Pump coming in, very good, and Voltorb is going for an Ivysaur or Thunder Wave. No, it's going straight for a Thunderbolt, which is pretty simple, I don't know. Thunder Wave just seems... I mean, I guess the damage output I can kind of understand from Faultson. And there is a chance of paralysis, so there is that. But I don't know, Thunder Wave just seems kind of like the go-to for it. But I suppose that depends, like, do you weigh more sleep on Ivysaur or paralysis? I suppose is a good question. I suppose sleep would probably be better, simply so to avoid sleep on your mons. Also, body slam paralysis, another thing. But Charmeleon is going to be switched in. Are we going to see a body slam paralysis? No, a quick switch to Rhyhorn and then a switch to Ivysaur, followed by a body slam by Rhyhorn. This is good. This is actually really good. We're gonna go back. So Voltorb gets switched out, and a quick switch to Rhyhorn. Quick switch. That was very, very good prediction. That was very good. Because now Charmeleon is facing down Rhyhorn, who, as far as I know, is not an Oko with Earthquake. Okay. We're going to see because every time I'm never 100% sure. So, best to figure this out now. Let's see, Charmeleon. We're going to go with Earthquake. And that's not how you spell Earth. There we go. Actually, I'm going to put Rock Slide on here too, because I'm curious. Alright. Dang it. Rock Slide. There we go. Okay. So, starting with Earthquake, it's not a guaranteed OHKO, but it does have a 10.3% chance to OHKO, so that's doing a ton of damage. Now, Rock Slide, in this case, is highly interesting because there is always a chance for a Golbat to be switched in, which is immune to Earthquake, but not to Rock Slide. And it threatens Rhyhorn with Mega Drain. I think it's like a 3-hit KO, maybe a 2-hit. But I don't know. There are pros and cons to the idea, but Gangsta Spongebob ended up going for Body Slam, which is very good play. A very good play, actually. Since they double down into Rhyhorn from Ivysaur, Charmeleon coming in because they were pretty much of the notion that Voltorb was not going to stay in. And even if Voltorb decided to say self-destruct, because we have seen that before, well, self-destruct, explode. We have seen that before done on Ivysaur just to reduce it. So Rhyhorn coming in is a pretty good prediction play. And since Charmeleon is now in, Faultson ends up going to their Ivysaur, which obviously threatens Rhyhorn. The Body Slam is a very, very interesting play. So, why not Earthquake? It does more damage, right? Well, let's see. Because it's Stab, even if it is... Well, no, actually, it doesn't resist it, because we've said this before. We've pointed this out before. It winds up doing neutral damage because Ivysaur is both poison and grass, so there is no resistance. Now, Body Slam, if I can actually get this thing to work. Body Slam. Yeah, it doesn't do too much. It's like a 37.9% chance to 4-hit KO. But the important thing here is that Body Slam is pretty spammable down here. And outside of a handful of mons, not even that actually. There's not really that many normal types in the tier, and definitely not many that can take an attack, a hit by Rhyhorn, reasonably well. But because Body Slam has the potential to paralyze, that is a very good move as far as I'm concerned. And it ends up paying off. Not only do you get damage on Ivysaur, but Gangsta Spongebob got the paralysis, which is actually pretty huge. This means that Ivysaur is slower than everything else, for one. So, if you had a Charmeleon come in, and it just, doesn't get sleep, it threatens Ivy out. And I'm pretty sure at this point, I think at the high end it's like 89%, 86 or 89% for Fire Blast to actually KO. So this would actually be, if it's not 100% chance, it's a very high chance. And that is obviously threatening. But the Beedrill is going to be coming out. Now, I've heard this, and for the most part I can agree, that Beedrill just basically sits on Ivy. Outside of Ivy putting it to sleep, the other thing that comes to mind is the potential for Body Slam. And Beedrill is neither special or physically tanky. It's very fragile. But it is a very good sweeper, and it is something that can threaten out Ivy. I mean, with Twin Needle, for one, because grass and poison, 4 times effective. Painful. So, let's go here. Okay, so we do get the Sleep Powder on the switch. And in comes Charmeleon. Like I was saying before, Charmeleon now threatens Ivysaur with an Oko. Do we see a Charmeleon come in? No, we see a Razor Leaf, which does a decent chunk of damage. In comes a Rhyhorn. Fire Blast? No, it's a Slash. Okay. That's a bit interesting, actually. Because I've mentioned this before. I'm always under the impression that Fire Blast is just a better move overall. Slash does have its use, especially when it comes to Tentacool. Because besides Tentacle being, resisting fire, it's also got a high special. So it doesn't take a whole lot. But a vast majority of the tier is not really is not very, very good at switching into it outside of a Charmeleon itself. Because, it's one of the only few mons that doesn't get burned down here. So, I don't know. I don't know. I get this is probably something I need to ask Gangsta on. Alright, but we do see Ivysaur coming in, and a substitute going down for Rhyhorn. Sleep Powder coming down, because for those who are not aware, substitute does not block status. So, and this is why Rhyhorn actually is one of the few substitutors in the actual meta, and why Rhydon is the same way in OU, is because it can actually, it's immune to electricity, so being paralyzed by Thunder Wave does not work. It can still be paralyzed by Body Slam, obviously, but this means that it's only limited to being poisoned or, gosh dang it, poisoned or slept, which is what Gangsta is trying to accomplish. Now, this does mean that Ivysaur is going to get Body Slam. It doesn't get the paralysis. More sleep, yes. And are we going to see a switch out? I suppose not. Might as well burn one of the sleep turns. Body Slam. Body Slam. Okay. So, I'm assuming that Gangsta was wanting to see if there was a switch. And catch it on and possibly get another paralysis. That's not a bad move, but I don't really see much of a reason to actually switch out in the substitute, simply because Rhyhorn's not threatened at this point. At this exact moment, there's really no reason for Rhyhorn to switch, and it's kind of an odd thing I've seen multiple times. It's already afflicted by sleep, so there's no real point to keeping it switched. Now, you can argue that switching it out with sleep means that nothing else gets slept, but at the current moment, it's substituted. So, it's not really threatened to be hurt at all. So, you can keep it out and try to burn some of the sleep turns if you want. I don't know. That's just my point of view, I suppose. At any rate, Ivysaur is going to use Razor Leaf. That gets rid of the sub, and Rhyhorn wakes up! And now to switch to Ivysaur as well. Block Sleep with Paralysis. Very good move in a Sword Dance coming down on the Ivysaur. Alright, so what do we got here? With Ivysaur now at 2 times. This means, well, first, I will commend again the paralysis of the sleep block with Ivysaur. That was a very good move. It's something that is done a lot in higher tier play. Again, I'm speaking from my OU experience, which is something I play quite a lot, although more casually than anything else. I'm not the most competitive individual, but it's a very good move, and I do very much like it. Now, with a Swords Dance coming out, this threatens obviously more damage on the Ivysaur, but it also means that right here, Ivysaur is now paralyzed. Luckily, it broke the speed tie and was able to get more damage, but Ivysaur is going to be sacked. And So the first of all is from Gangsta Spongebob. It really does seem like Faultson actually came out pretty well in this exchange so far. That said, both Rhyhorn, Voltorb, and Ivysaur are heavily damaged. Ivysaur is paralyzed, while a vast majority of Gangsta Spongebob's mons are actually at full health. So that is something to bear in mind. It's very deceptive. Very deceptive. Alright, out comes Tentacle. This cannot... Oko Ivy, there's no question. Blizzard? Alright, I was wondering about a prediction. But now let's see who wins the speed tie. And it's going to be Faultson with a wrap. Question is, are we going to see a switch to Voltorb or Charmeleon? A quick switch to Beedrill. This is actually pretty cool. So long as Wrap keeps up, Beedrill will be able to wear off sleep turns. I love this move. Now, sure, Faultson can switch out into something else to threaten Beedrill. But at the same time, Hydro Pump coming down. Had Wrap actually... Okay, so is Beedrill going to be sacked? Okay, it is sacked, but I do love that move. I do love the attempt at that. If only to wear, is a chance to wear off the sleep turns, you could then switch Beedrill out to, obviously, probably start a sweep later. However, again, I'd like to point out that, yes, you could switch something in to threaten Beedrill, but then you could switch something out. It's just a very cool play overall. Was it effective? Not in this case. But it was a very cool play, not gonna lie. That was very fun. Alright, so Beedrill goes down, and in comes Charmeleon? No, Meowth. Okay. So, it does go for the slash. Question is, why not Charmeleon? Well, obviously, Charmeleon's low on health for one, and slash is not gonna Oko Tentacle. Not from Meowth, not from Charmeleon. So, Meowth, admittedly, is the better option in this case, as far as I'm concerned, because while it's not super effective, and it's going to get pretty damaged by Hydro Pump regardless, or even Surf, it's not going to be taken out by it. Well, I suppose a crit Hydro Pump would actually... Yeah, a crit Hydro Pump would take Meowth out regardless, but, I mean, that is chancing it after all. Slash goes down on the Ivysaur for a sack from Faultson. And this is looking to be more in Faultson's favor, especially since Gangsta's Meowth just went down, lost the speed tie on that one. But Charmeleon is coming in, and here comes Rhyhorn, Fire Blast. Yes, do we get the burn? Yes, we got the burn, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, but Fire Spin does miss. Is this going to take it out? No, the burn, ladies and gentlemen, saves Charmeleon. It would have been nice to get that Fire Spin off. It would have been nice to preserve more Charmeleon's health, but that is why Fire Blast is a pretty decent answer. It's really cool, I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited right now. Okay. Another Fire Blast coming in, and unfortunately... Did I say Fire Blast or Fire Spin? Fire Spin coming out, and Charmeleon unfortunately goes down, and Gangsta does lose the speed tie. This is not looking good. In fact, I'm pretty much of the opinion that Gangsta has lost this match right here, which is gonna happen, not gonna lie. Does a bit of damage to Meowth, but it does go down, and at this point, Tentacle it gets outsped both by Meowth and then by Voltorb. So there's very little and Charmeleon. So there's very little chance of this. Yeah, especially on a full health Charmeleon, yeah. Well, first match goes to Faultson. Okay. So what do we got here? I'm excited! This has been a good match. We've seen some very interesting play so far. Congratulations, Faultson, on the first game win. Congratulations, Gangsta Spongebob, on some of the moves. I am excited right now. This is really cool. Alright, so going with that momentum, let's go to the next match. And we're already at about 20 minutes in. Oh dear. Okay. Let's begin, starting with the lead metagame. Got Tentacool from Gangsta, and Tentacool from Faultson. We have talked about this matchup before, and we do see the wrap coming in. What are the possibilities? First, just a straight up trying to brute force your way through with surfs and hydro pumps. Wrap is another thing. One of the key instruments of a wrap switch, especially on a tentacle at this point that we've seen, is to switch to something faster that can threaten tentacle out. Because oftentimes, tentacle is one of those pieces you want to try to keep to the late game. Mainly for its ability to wrap switch, but also its high-powered special attacks. So, let's see here. Are we just going to continue to see? Oh, we got Rhyhorn coming in. And we've seen this before. For different reasons. The first time, I can't remember the exact match, or the exact game, really. But we've seen Rhyhorn being switched into wrap before. Granted, that particular time it was due to a crit. This is risky. This is a very risky move, because had Tentacle's wrap missed, Rhyhorn would obviously be far slower than Tentacle, and it has to be switched out unless you're wanting to sack it. And for something like this, I wouldn't think it would be a good idea. So whatever's coming in is going to take a hit, whether by another wrap or a hydro pump or a surf. So it ends up hitting. It ends up paying off. So Rhyhorn's going to take very little damage. At this point, it's just like 1% from what I'm seeing on the screen. So yeah, it's not going to be doing very much. But that is a bit of a risk for that play, just to point that out. It ends up going back to the tentacle. At this point, it just seems more like PP stalling, seeing if they can get the wrap to miss. And here it is! Missed wrap! Are we going to see an H-pump? Tentacle comes out, hit with a hydro pump. It takes it pretty well, but that is still damage. And Gangsta wins the speed tie again and wraps it down. Oh boy. Okay, Ivysaur coming in now. This is admittedly pretty interesting. Switching back to the tentacle. At this point, it's just PP stalling. But Ivysaur is another slow mon that actually doesn't really threaten Tentacle except for body slam, paralysis, and sleep. But even then, Ivysaur is going to take a ton of damage. And Faultson's Tentacle is just being lowered further and further. It seems that Faultson has realized this and has now switched between Rhyhorn and Ivysaur, and more wrap is coming in. Just little by little, getting these mons down further and further. And we see another wrap miss! Another H-pump! Can we hit it? No, Hydro Pump has missed. That was pretty lucky. We do see another wrap coming in. Oh gosh dang it. Tentacle shenanigans. And look at the screen right now. Faultson has revealed 3 of their Pokemon, while Gangsta only has the 1 so far made available to our site. This is really, really good play. As far as I'm concerned. This is really cool. Oh gosh dang it. This is very, very cool and very awesome. Oh gosh dang it. Oh boy. Okay. This is very nice. This is very cool to watch. End of story. Okay, so we got another wrap coming down. What else are we going to see? Because obviously, the entire time, Tentacle is just doing more and more damage, bringing down these mons, and with another miss from Rhyhorn, which at this point, I have to ask, why switch between these two? Because Rhyhorn, on 2 separate occasions, has been threatened with Hydro Pump. 1 miss, of course, so I mean, it's not a guaranteed hit, but that is freaking risky. But we got Faultson coming back, hitting Surf this time from Gangsta. And Tentacle, Faultson actually got the rat back. But Tentacle's at 17% health. And in comes Beedrill, which does threaten Tentacle, because it is faster. And with Twin Needle or Hyper Beam, which... Okay, Mega Drain. Hydro Pump coming out. That is... Okay. Battle Cap time. Let's go for a Beedrill. And... Oh. Tend, for whatever reason. Okay. So... 17% on Tentacle. Alright, and we're going to go for Mega Drain on Beedrill. Wow. Really? Oh, it's a crit! Okay. I did not see that. I was confused for a second. Because this thing is saying it's a guaranteed 3-hit KO. That is weird. Okay. I notice it now. That makes me wonder, why Mega Drain? Did they think that Rhyhorn was going to be switched in? Huh. Or maybe they didn't, or maybe they thought that the range was good enough. I mean, I suppose that's probably it, because 17% is pretty dang low, but Tentacle Special is 100. Well, base 100. So, because of this, instead of going for a physical move, which, depending on their moveset, if they're doing a double stance set with Mega Drain and Hyper Beam, there is a risk of using Hyper Beam with the opponent switching into Rhyhorn to tank it. There is that. We've seen that done twice before. One with success, and the other one where the Beedrill actually missed, which was a godsend for that Beedrill, because otherwise it was going to take some major damage. So let us continue. Gosh dang it, I cut the recording off for a second. Sorry. Okay. Ends up coming Hydro Pump, and Ivysaur's coming in. Twin Needle? No, more Mega Drain. Are we going to see Sleep? Okay, we are going to see Twin Needle come out. Oh, 1%! And Beedrill manages to survive! Okay, so we now have a Tentacle at 4%. Which, admittedly, at this point, I'm kind of confused why he didn't. Why Gangsta didn't use Twin Needle. Again, it might just be the thought that they probably thought it was low enough. And they did get damaged by Wrap a bit, but I don't know. Twin Needle. Twin Needle would have taken it out, right? It's 17%. Let me see. Twin Needle? Yeah, that was a guaranteed Oko. Yeah, okay. That is curious. That is curious. But we do see a Charmeleon being switched in. And it's gonna go for another Mega Drain. Which, admittedly, would have Oko'd Ivy. Rhyhorn coming in. It's gonna get Body Slam Paralysis. And we got the Paralysis from Charmeleon. This does hamper Rhyhorn. Not necessarily as badly as most mons, because Rhyhorn is already pretty dang slow. It's just the chance of missing an opportunity to attack due to paralysis, which is the big issue here. But are we going to see a switch? But to what, honestly? Ivysaur could be sacked. honestly could be sacked, because Charmeleon's not really going to do too much at this point. Maybe a fire spin's going to come in. Counter! What? 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 Counter? What the hell? Okay, I'm literally gonna need somebody to explain this to me, because I'm honestly very confused. Now, I know Counter does some pretty wacky stuff in Gen 1, but to my understanding, outside of Body Slam on Rhyhorn, most likely, and especially against a Charmeleon, it's probably going to be using Earthquake and possibly Rock Slide. Unless you're predicting a switch, and at that point, Body Slam, is not a bad move. It's definitely spammable. But at this point, I'm honestly kind of confused. Like, why Counter? Why? And for those who are not aware, Counter only works on normal and fighting type moves, which is the whole reason I pointed out Body Slam. I don't know. Okay, so is Rhyhorn going to be able to attack? No, it actually gets para-hacked. And again with the counter. What the hell? Oh, punish! Definitely a punish. You could have done damage at that point. I mean, I'm really going to need somebody to give me a... Oh, in comes a substitute. Mega Drain. Well, no health because it is, not actually taking health from it. But it does get rid of the substitute, and this does make it more likely to be taken out by something else, or at least threatened. Earthquake does come down. Beedrill is sacked. Are we going to see Tentacle coming out? Yep. 96% Tentacle, who has literally been a rap god in this battle so far. I'm loving this thing right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay, I'll stop. Alright, so Rhyhorn gets switched into the Slasher. We're going to see a double switch? Yep, into Ivysaur is the prediction made. Substitute prediction! That was very good! Okay, this does mean that Meowth can still be put to sleep. It does miss, though. It does miss. That is very unfortunate. Another Slash coming out. Ivysaur's got one more chance, and Sleep takes. But Meowth doesn't have to switch so far, because it is behind a substitute, but it is immediately taken out by Body Slam. And, yeah. Ivysaur's just... Razor Leaf did not crit! Oh... And it missed! Okay. So for people who are not familiar with Gen 1 crits, they're based on base speed of the Mon. So Razor Leaf, which has a pretty high chance to crit overall, honestly very rarely doesn't. So not only did Gangsta not get a crit with Razor Leaf, which is very, very, very unlikely, Razor Leaf also is 95% accurate. It's very, very accurate in comparison to most of the moves you'll wind up seeing, like Hydro Pump and such. But it actually missed 95%. I feel bad. That is two individual things that very rarely happen, but they did. Oh gosh, dang it. But Meowth is just taking it. And finally it crits, taking out Meowth. And in comes Charmeleon? Yep, in comes Charmeleon. Do we see a switch into Rhyhorn? Body Slam! down goes. At this point, I don't see Gangsta actually losing. Hitmonchan does come in with the agility. Do we see a body slam counter? Because counter is ran by Hitmonchan, but in this case, no, it's just a submission. Rhyhorn gets paralyzed. Is it going to go down? Yes. No! It actually survives, but it's paralyzed. the excitement is building, folks. I really need to get more sleep. I am completely. Oh dear. Tentacool does come out and it takes out Hitmonchan. Its bulk is abysmal. This is gonna be a win for Gangsta now. Oh boy. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. 2 matches in a row have been amazingly entertaining to watch. We've seen some pretty good plays by both players. Though I got to ask again, the counter. If I ever get a chance, I want to ask Faultson about that, because I am really confused. Oh, gosh dang. Gosh dang. Well, with that out of the way... And Gangsta was even able to keep 2 of their Pokemon. One of them was probably a Meowth, most likely. But I'm honestly kind of curious what the second Mon was. Charmeleon? Maybe? Pretty common to bring. But maybe it was something different. I don't know. Okay. Game 3. Okay, so far we've seen Tentacool and Charmeleon in dual Tentacool leads. What do we see this time? Let us begin. Lead metagame. Tentacool coming out for Gangsta. And once again, Tentacool coming out. Are we going to see the same Rap God come into effect? I don't know. I'm sorry. As far as moves go in Generation 1, Rap is just one of those moves that I find incredibly awesome, because the way it can be used outside of counter is just really interesting. Like, it leads to a lot of cool gameplay and tactics that you can use. I love the move. I really do. And when I see it used so effectively, it's a thrill for me. I'm sorry. It's a fair thrill. So, we've stated before in the last game what can happen here. Let's just play. We do get an early Rap from Faultson. Are we going to see switches? Are we going a quick switch to Beedrill? Once again, and the relevance of this. Beedrill outspeeds Tentacool. Are we going to see Twin Needle? Because it's going to do a lot of damage. Actually, it does 70, at most, 72%. So that's going to do a ton of damage to Tentacool. If it stays in. Granted, it does have to hit. It's not a 100% accurate move, of course. Yes, and if it does crit, sorry, playing with buttons. Anyway, just ruin the momentum. Okay, so what do we see here? In comes Charmeleon, Twin Needle. Yes, maybe a poison? No. Okay, and a quick switch to Rhyhorn. And Fire Blast coming in. Now, this does lead to an argument here, I suppose. So, and this is an argument between how switch-ins work. Fire Blast, like I said before, like I've mentioned several times before, to me is the best move you can do usually when you're predicting a switch. Especially if you're going to predict Rhyhorn. Because Burn does affect Rhyhorn immensely. We've seen it. We've already seen the effects of burns on Rhyhorn. Charmeleon can then actually do some pretty nifty stuff. Unfortunately, Fire Spin did miss at that point. However, it does bring up the idea that maybe Rhyhorn's not the best switch-in. Because while Burn is only a 30% chance, it cripples Rhyhorn a lot. So, Let me know what you guys think if y'all happen to get this far. Play! Okay, Charmeleon is going to be switched out for Shelter, who is pretty physically tanky, but the Ivysaur comes in! Oh, yeah! Sleep Powder! Yeah! Alright. I'm loving the double switches. I'm loving it. The predictions. Oh, so freaking cool. High level play, ladies and gentlemen. High level play. I like it. Alright. Ivysaur has been put to sleep. This does mean that Ivysaur is... One of its traits is basically done. Because Ivysaur is in the back, and we have talked about this before, with Amon sleeping in the back, this does mean that Ivysaur can no longer put anything else to sleep. Goes for the body slam for a chance of paralysis. That was a very good move. Khan's prediction, and body slam, it's just a nice spammable move down here. And in fact, I don't really know well enough the... My grammar probably is horrible in this case. I don't know enough about the other low tiers to understand whether or not Body Slam is spammable in every tier. I would assume it would be, because outside of normal types, anything else can be paralyzed with Body Slam. So I can only assume that every tier is just like every mon that can afford to use it uses it. So Rhyhorn coming in, another Fire Blast, gets down to 40 health, no burn, and it threatens Charmeleon out, and Shelter is coming in. I'm assuming, because obviously Tentacool isn't going to take, it's definitely not going to take an Earthquake. Actually, I'm 100% sure about this, but I want to make sure. Yeah, that's a Garrett. No, hold on. What else is it? 100%. Still. It's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Okay, so it could tank 1. But I honestly don't think that you would want to switch it in, even if you thought it could tank it, unless you really had no other option. But Shelter is actually fairly tanky. And let me see. Shelter, blank slate. What about with a crit? It's a 92.3% chance of 4-hit KO with a 55.1% chance at 2-hit KO on a double crit. Okay. Good to know. Alright. And I'm playing with buttons again. Sorry. Alright. So play. So does Rhyhorn get threatened out? We're going for a body slam. And instant switch. No paralysis. Tentacool comes in with the clamp. So... what's the switch play here? Does Gangster go... Wrap! Okay. So we've seen how trapping... we've seen this already. Trapping is very, very abusable if you're faster. It's not 100% accurate. These moves aren't 100% accurate, so they can miss, obviously, and we've seen it. Especially in the last battle. Shelter, however, is, I think, one of the slowest... probably the slowest trapper in the... no, well... how fast is Ekans? Well, as far as the mons that we've seen so far, I'm pretty sure it's the slowest of the trappers. So, yeah. This got exploited pretty quickly to Wrap coming in. Now, to be fair, Shelter is far more physically tanky than Tentacool is, obviously. Oh, and a miss. And, well, Shelter can't... this is the problem with a slow mon being used for Tentacool. It does waste power points of the move, don't get me wrong, and it seems... wow, okay, we're seeing a ton of misses now. And in comes a retaliatory wrap from Faultson. And we're going to see Beedrill come in, and Rap misses! We've seen, basically through these 3 games so far. Well, 2 games, actually. Yeah, no, this is the 3rd game. We've seen through these 3 games the ins and outs and the high points and low points of Rap. This is actually very good. Very good. An account. Wait, I'm hyperventilating over Rap. I actually missed it. Hold on. Okay, so Beedrill comes in and Oko's Tentacle with the crit, which we did talk about earlier. And so Charmeleon's going to be switched in. That's going to threaten Beedrill out. In comes the enemy Charmeleon, which is revealed by Gangsta, and it gets hit by Fire Blast, which does crit and does quite a bit of damage. Slash coming in, and then counter to finish it off. I love it! I love it! Oh, the plays! Alright, Charmeleon coming at, being switched out for Rhyhorn. Are we gonna see a double switch to Ivysaur? No, it's gonna be a sack of Rhyhorn. This is interesting, actually. What do we see? Tentacle? What in the world? Okay. Back up. Hold the phone. Okay. So Rhyhorn goes down. I'm gonna need the calc for this, which seems to be every single time that one of these situations happen. Okay, Tent. Have you at 71%? Wait, 71%? No, 81. Okay, my bad. And we're gonna get Meowth over here. Okay, you're at 100%. Okay, and we're gonna get Thunderbolt. We're gonna get Slash. Do a comparison here. Okay, so Thunderbolt is a guaranteed 3-hit KO. The only thing, and well, before I go into a rant, let me actually do Slash. Slash is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. And we gotta remember that Slash always crits, so that is obviously a thing. Now, Thunderbolt. That's a bit weird. Why does it keep doing that? Strange. I guess I played with too many buttons. Okay. So that's wanting to be a pain in the butt. But anyway. So even on a crit, Thunderbolt's not going to KO Tentacle. Slash, however, does a ton more damage. I don't understand the switch, the move choice here. Paralysis, but it's not a high chance though. Not a high chance at all. I think it's like what, 25%? 35%? But the Thunderbolt does come down, brings Tentacle to 47%, and Surf does a ton of damage. And we go for the Oko, okay, so I suppose there is something to be said had it ended up being KO anyway, of course. But actually, was that a guarantee? Let us check. 47%, I'm pretty sure, is a guarantee KO. But let me check. Yeah, it's a guaranteed Oko. No questions on that. Alright. I mean, from this point, I can see what was going on. Because Thunderbolt hit, it brought down Tentacle either way. But with nothing to really resist Slash at this point, wouldn't it be far better to do that? Because you're going to get Meowth's full attack and stab behind Slash. Well, at any rate, Tentacle does go down. And are we going to see Charmeleon? No, another Meowth, alright. So it's going to be Speed Tie. Rhyhorn comes in and tanks the Slash. Now we do know, unless Bubble Beam crits, Rhyhorn is going to stay in. That means Meowth is going to take atomic damage if it switches. If it stays in. But who can tank a hit from Rhyhorn? Only Ivysaur, as far as I know, can. It's at 100%. It's still neutral, but it's bulky enough that it'll actually survive. Beedrill is also hit neutrally by that, but it's not going to tank it very well. Actually, let's compare, to be fair. Beedrill and Ivysaur. Let's compare defensive stats. 63 to 40. Yeah, that's base stats. 224 at highest with 178 for Beedrill. Yeah, Ivysaur is definitely going to be the better switch in. And it makes me wonder if there's going to be a Body Slam coming out. No, Meowth stays in. And an Earthquake does go off. Meowth has taken a ton of damage, but Rhyhorn is now down. Okay. Alright. So from here, what do we have? We have a Sleeping Ivysaur, which can take a couple of decent hits. We have a Meowth at 35%. We have a Shelter at 73%. Does the Shelter come out? I'm honestly curious. Does the Shelter come out? Let us see. Faultson sends a Meowth, and it breaks the Speed Tie. It does break the Speed Tie. That was a 50-50 chance. And that was risky. In comes Ivysaur, which is at 100% health. It can tank hits, and it's got Sleep Powder. But we do have Ivysaur in the back for Faultson that is asleep, so that's not really a concern. But Razor Leaf is, unless Gangsta gets really bad luck again, which is possible, which is 100% possible. Ivysaur is now getting switched in. Okay. Huh. Yeah. I guess I can see where this is coming from. Ivysaur, he's trying to wear away the sleep turns, and there's not really much Ivysaur can do in return, but Beedrill does come out, and this will give it time to set up. But Shelter can explode. It's got a pretty decent chance to OHKO Beedrill with Explosion. Do we see it? No, it's a Surf, but Explosion will take it out if Beedrill cannot OHKO it, and it does not. There goes Beedrill. But now it's just a half fainted Meow. Yeah. Gangsta Spongebob. I see no way for Faultson to win this. I really don't. The Body Slam does come down. So if Ivysaur does not wake up, this is just Gangsta's win. Charmeleon does come out. Do we see a Fire Blast? Fire Blast? Yes, but it misses! Oh, and Meowth goes in for the slash! This is going down to the wire, folks. Okay, don't get me wrong here. I really don't see Faultson winning unless Ivysaur wakes up. If Ivysaur does not wake up, like on the first turn, then there's literally no way Faultson is going to win. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. There's no way for this to work. Well, oh! If Faultson would have won that speed tie, he would have won. 17%. Actually, let me... I do this way too much. Okay, we got Ivysaur right there. Let's put Ivy right here. Blank set. We'll go for Body Slam. And that's not how you spell Body Slam. Yeah, it was a guaranteed Oko. So if Faultson actually would have won the speed tie, Gangsta would have been sent to the losers bracket and Faultson would have been moving on. But instead, Gangsta is the one who moves on to further into the winners bracket, while Faultson gets their first elimination and heads downward into the LB. This match was freaking exciting. Woo! Very good play by both players. I'm still confused about the whole counter thing, but outside of that, there are probably a couple of other things that I've forgotten. But, gosh dang it. Rap God Tentacle in the second battle. Oh my gosh. That's still funny. That's still awesome. Textbook right there. It's very good. Alright. With that said, folks, I hope y'all have enjoyed this, because this is awesome. I hope this gets you excited for the next few battles left in round 1. And then round 2. This is cool, folks. These are the plays we hopefully will see from now on. Further along we go. This is going to be awesome. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good evening. Until then, laters. Bye!